saying in the NBA, we're talking about Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, and we're it's kind of become a big thing to see if Kobe's gonna retire or not retire. If it's better for the Lakers if he retires, if the team would be better off with Kobe not retiring. Kobe at this point, excuse me, has stayed sound in his statement of saying, he doesn't know when he knows he'll know, but as of this moment, he doesn't know. He said he's talked to Derek Jeter, he's talked to LeBron James, and he said he's talked to Michael Jordan, and he both of them have said, when is this that time? You just know it. You just feel it. He said he can't. He's not the one to go do a farewell tour like Derek Jeter did, but when it's about that time, and he's saying that he can't give anybody a concrete answer right now. So now the question is that I'm gonna pose to you two is, are the Lakers better with or without Kobe Bryant in the future? Khaled, I'll start this off with you.
You said better with or without.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll still be better with Kobe because Kobe is Kobe. He's the centerpiece to the Lakers team. He's an all star. He's a 5-time champion, and he's just like he's such a great of a player. Even though he did hurt his Achilles tendon, he still hustled and played. He played great, and he got people to the point they need to get. He got his players around him. He can set them up as well. I feel like he was talking about moving to the small forward position. If he moves to that position instead of being shooting guard, then he can relax a little bit more and just look for the assist and for the opportunities that the other guards give him, so that he doesn't have to put so much work on himself and put so much stress on his body because he is getting old. And like you said, he doesn't even know when his retirement is. So I do think that they'll still be better with Kobe, and I mean unless they get a whole lot better pieces.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
I want to go to what college just said. It don't matter what position you're on the court, you never get to relax.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
you don't get to relax, but it's like it's just a little bit more less stressful than the shooting
I
guard
mean,
is.
he still has there's some really good small forwards in the league that he still has to go against. There's probably some of them a lot more athletic than the shooting guards. But for Kobe to well, does it hurt the team? Help the team if he stays, if he's on the team? It definitely helps the team because even though like statistics may say when he's off the court, like their efficiency is up, he's still it's Kobe Bryant. Just having him there, knowing Kobe Bryant is on the team, it does justice for the team. Like in practice, nobody pushes him harder in practice probably than Kobe Bryant does. Nobody gets after them. He's like another Jordan basically. So having him on the team, having him on the court, maybe not show it statistically, but it does better for the team. So I feel like having him there is a lot better than having like when Kobe's gone, we will see how the Lakers will fail without him there because it's not gonna be pretty. We're gonna have a rough 1-2 seasons.
Well, this was Kobe Bryant's last season, or his past. This is the stats from his past season when he played 35 games, and then he leading up to his torn rotator cuff. So he averaged 22.3 points. He shot 37% from the field. He averaged 5.6 assists, and he averaged 5.7 rebounds.
In
So, and
35 games.
he shot 29% from three. So those are some of, at least more so, his shooting percentage
That's
is
yeah,
terrible.
that's terrible.
That is awful. Kobe Bryant's season, career wise, he's a 45% shooter, 44.7 at least. But his numbers are going, his shooting percentages are going down because of the horror shooting percentage he's posted up in the past seasons. So the Lakers, apparently it's a tricky situation because on one hand you have a franchise player who's aging and who's been with the city his whole life and who's basically become the face of LA and who the fans pretty much idolize at this point. But then you have on the other hand, you have new talent, new core that you're trying to come in and mold and have them take the reins from Kobe, but you don't feel like you can have it happen while Kobe Bryant is there. and you don't feel like you can attract any new free agents because all free agents apparently are turned off from the idea of it still being Kobe's team. So there's a feeling in LA that they don't really they're kind of like, oh yeah, Kobe, take your time, but they're kind of like, get out at the same time because people are apparently free agents don't want to come play with Kobe just because they're scared of still they're coming, it's going to be Kobe's team. But it's just an interesting fact, because it's interesting like thing because all Kobe Bryant wants to do is win. So I and people always say who's next Michael Jordan, blah blah blah, but the closest person they compare to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant. So while Kobe's leadership might not be exactly like Michael Jordan's, Kobe has always said that he's willing to teach to help mold the new talent that comes to Los Angeles. And he has no problem taking a different role, which he's already showing by playing small forward. So I understand those who think that it's better for Kobe to go out. I think it's better on Kobe's part if he goes out this season. If he gets injured again, and if he shows he's not going to be the same player he was 5-10 years ago. He's not going to be that same guy that averages 27, shooting 46 or 45%, and averaging 5 and 5 or 5 and 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. But he always said that he wouldn't be stick around and just be a player that averages about 15 points or so. But he really is helping to mold like D'Angelo Russell. So many people give Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant so much credit because they have that killer instinct, and that's something they knock against LeBron James because he doesn't apparently have the killer instinct. But you give LeBron James so much credit on his leadership, but then when Kobe Bryant uses that killer instinct to show leadership, you slight him. So it makes no sense. If you're gonna praise him in one instance for being a killer and having pride in it being his team, don't slight him in that same instance because he's that same player, and then give LeBron James kudos because LeBron James is that leader, and LeBron James doesn't have the killer instinct. It doesn't make any sense. So, and every person wants that kind of instinct in their superstars. That's why now Russell Westbrook is becoming so popular because he's actually, when Kevin Durant went out, he was averaging pretty much a triple-double. So now people are saying, oh, Russell Westbrook has the killer instinct. When years ago, y'all were just coming at Russell Westbrook saying that he's too selfish, he's bullhardy, he doesn't give the ball to Kevin Durant enough. But that's the same thing that made him great now because he took it on his own shoulders to try and do everything he could to take Oklahoma City to the playoffs. So if you can have Kobe Bryant teach that kind of factor to D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, players that are still raw, that haven't had a true NBA experience yet, you can have him manifest that in those players. Why would you be willing to push him out the door? Now I understand if he is full on, because Kobe also has to, and that works both ways, because Kobe also has to be willing to take a backseat role to it not being his team anymore, because he is older, and you're not going to be able to carry the team like you did when you had Smush Parker and them as your point guard. You were able to average 35 points a game. You're not that same player anymore. You have to also be willing to take the backseat role and say, hey, D'Angelo, Julius, Nick Young, all them guys. you have to be willing to take the backseat role and realize, hey, these guys are the future. And, I can't, while you are still a focal point of the offense, you can't sit there and tell incoming free agents, hey, you be my pal. You be my Pau Gasol. It doesn't work that way. Pau Gasol was a support player to Kobe. He was a compliment to Kobe Bryant. But Kobe Bryant, at this point in your career, you have to become a compliment to other players because you're the older player while they're the younger player coming in to build something on this franchise. So while I don't believe the Lakers are per se better off without Kobe, I can see why some would feel that they are. I feel like it all depends on the role that Kobe Bryant plays. But he's been openly saying that he's open to playing any role. He's open to being a mentor. But it's weird as how he's casted in the light nowadays because there's a lot more that comes into attracting free agents than just one player. Your management has to be able to show the free agent that they're coming to something that can become a championship contender. Jim Buss did everything wrong when it came to the Dwight Howard saga. When we had Dwight Howard and they somehow let him go, or he walked away because he told them, I want Phil Jackson as my coach. Phil Jackson was open to coming back to LA. They did not bring in Phil Jackson. They brought in Mike D'Antoni because they were catering to the point guard at the time, Steve Nash, who was 39 years old, which makes no sense which means you just automatically disregarded anything Dwight Howard had to tell you. So he left and went to Houston, where he could be with Kevin McHale, who was also once a post player, and so he could learn from Akeem Olajuwon, who works in the Houston staff. So when you do things like that, you're only throwing spit in the face of your players, which you can't do as a management if you want to attract free agents and you want to keep players that you have now so that to make them happy in Los Angeles.